Welcome to our first guest, Hilton football, and a day they've been waiting for a really long time. Did not get to play last fall like any Section 5 team. Everything was on pause, but they get their chance now. 2 o'clock today, the season opener. Hilton at Pittsford. Joining us is the head coach of the Cadets, Rich Lipani, in his 32nd year at Hilton, 35th overall. Also, Jason Bedford, a running back, and Landon Ciliberto, quarterback for the Cadets. Gentlemen, welcome to the show. How are you?
Good.
Good.
Thanks,
How
Jeff.
are you?
Collectively fantastic. All right. Steve, let's start with the coach. Rich, how thankful are you to get this season, that you guys get it? And how much did you doubt that you'd even have a season at any point this school year?
Well, we were pretty confident we would have it eventually, but it was a long off season. We were right in the middle of our off season when it ended, and we got the go ahead late September, and we've been going strong ever since.
I don't know how much a creature of habit you are, but our math tells us football's probably been a part of your life for close to 50 falls. What was last fall like for you, and how odd is it for you getting ready to play your first game in the middle of March?
It really wasn't that much different. Honestly, it just happened. We couldn't play, and I just kept paying attention to the news every day and hoping that things would change. And now that we got going March 1st, if it's just a little bit colder out, but I think once you get out to the practice field, everything's the same.
Let's start with you, Landon. How do you feel about getting on the field? What's the last 10 days or so been like? 2 weeks getting ready for this?
It feels great to be back out there. I mean, we've been preparing for over a year now, and there were some times we didn't think we were going to play. There's times where it was looking hopeful, and these last 10 days have been great.
One maybe unintended benefit of this is that guys that have been able to be in the weight room and train might be even bigger and stronger than they were last August. And with you being a running back and coach's system where, his feature back gets featured, how are you feeling going into the season? And did you take advantage of that time to keep improving as the season approached?
Yeah, for sure. It was definitely a little strange with all the extra time going on, but I definitely put it to use. I was putting in a lot of work throughout COVID, keeping up with the updates on what we could do with all that and everything, and I definitely think I took advantage of it.
5-4 record in 2019, Rich. What do you like about this team? What are some strengths, and how do you feel going into Pittsford game here?
We got some pretty solid skilled players. We've been pretty beat up injury-wise. Lost a couple of kids in the first couple of weeks. So we got some depth filling in, but it's a good group. They got a lot of playing time. A lot of kids got a lot of playing time last year because we were banged up pretty good last year also. So it's a good group. They've been worked hard. They've put a lot of effort in. And we've been outside, like I said, since September, in the cold weather and the snow and the wind, doing stuff. So, we're going to hopefully have enough guys to suit up on Saturday and, play some Hilton football and see what happens.
And your quarterback that wears number 13, I was getting a quick look at the roster. Is there any reason behind that? Is there a quarterback that wore number 13 there, or is it just the number you were assigned when you came out for the team?
I mean, when I first started playing football, I always wore number 23 for Marshawn Lynch when he was with the Bills. And then they moved me to quarterback maybe like 4 years into me playing football. And I wanted to stick with something that involved 3, so I just picked 13.
Rich, let me ask you about this young man as your quarterback. What do you like about him? I mean, you don't just put anybody at quarterback. What are his strengths and skills that said this is my guy?
He knows the game, and he developed tremendously size-wise and maturity in the offseason. Came ready to play this year. Knows what we do, what we want done. He's actually put a lot of size and strength on and can actually run the ball real well now and throw it. And so he's a good leader. And so I'm confident and he can lead us to where we want to get to.
I'm looking in your Zoom, and it looks to the left over your shoulder. There's a Thurman Thomas jersey hanging on the wall. I don't know if you're a Thurman Thomas fan, but who do you pattern your game after? And are you a Thurman Thomas fan?
I'm definitely a Thurman Thomas fan. I'm a huge Bills fan. I also really love LaShawn McCoy. That's number 25 when he got traded to Buffalo. I changed my number from 30 to 25, and I try to, just model my game after him a little bit.
Coach Lipani, let me ask you this real quick. I've asked you this in all the times I've interviewed you, but you do give your running back the ball and 20, 25, 30 carries. Is that something that happened to a coach that when you were young that did that for you, or or who'd you learn that from, or is that just a Rich Lipani thing?
Well, I learned that from Don Hagreen, who I played for at Greece Athena. He used to take advantage of his running backs and like to control the ball and play great defense. So we always try to pattern ourselves a little bit after that. And then we've had some great success. We've had great running backs through the years and great offensive line coaches who've helped turn our offensive line into solid teams. So it's just something we've learned. We've also expanded quite a bit with some shotgun stuff that we got some other athletes that we can use a little bit. So over time, but it's like to control the ball and not make mistakes and make sure that the better team wins.
Just a quick observation, Steve, I want to tell Rich is that my dad used to tell me a story that not only would his teams do that when he was playing in the 1950s, but he said one time his quarterback called the same play for the same running back 10 consecutive times. And then somebody said, "Why did you do that?" And he said, "Because they didn't stop it once." And I imagine it's probably like you. It's pretty simple, right?
Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's that easy.
So Landon, this season, it's a 6-game regular season instead of 7, and 4 teams make sectionals, and AA is always really competitive. You guys are always in the hunt. You have a reputation for being tough as nails. What's your mindset going into this week? And I'm sure with the goal of trying to secure a sectional berth.
I mean, like you said, it's just 6 games, only 4 teams make it. So that just gives you all the reasoning to go out there and play harder and focus up more in practice and not really take any days off.
Jason Bedford, where were you when you found out you guys were going to have a season? Do you remember that moment? Was it that significant that you remember how you found out?
I think I remember Landon, his dad told him, and then he called me right after and told me. And I think I was just at home, and then I ran downstairs, told my parents we were having a season, and then we were all celebrating. It felt good to hear that after so long and not knowing.
So I got to just say this real quick, Steve. The jersey over your other shoulder, Jason, is that a Rochester Lancers jersey? And is that Frankie Ciliberto's? Whose jersey is that? Are you at Landon's house or something?
I actually am in his house. I'm in the other room over.
Okay, that explains it. I know my Rochester sports. So Landon's cousin is Frankie Ciliberto, who used to plays for the Lancers soccer team. And I'm noticing that I'm like, that looks like a Frankie. So I'm like, what's going on? Am I in some sort of weird parallel universe where the zooms have switched in the background? So, there you go. Something we wouldn't have done a year ago at this time. We wouldn't have figured that out. But Steve,
since you kind of jumped on me, I'm going to use your question on Rich. Rich, Jeff never lets any coach off the hook without asking who else is going to be good. Who's the top competition going to come from? So we're looking at AA this year. Who do you see as being the teams to chase?
Well, obviously, I think Aquinas, Victor is coming up from Class A. Is supposed to be really good. McQuaid's got a good group of kids back. Pittsford's always tough. Webster Schrader, we scrimmaged this weekend, has a really solid team. So there's gonna be a lot of competition, and for the 4 spots. So and the issue is that you only got 6 games to make it happen, and everybody's not playing each other. So it's kind of you're just gonna have to win games.
Just win, baby, like Al Davis used to say. Gentlemen, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck. 2:00 over at Sutherland, and I'm sure you can watch it at RC Media or YouTube, wherever you can find it. Thanks, guys. Thanks, Hilton Football. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Jeff.
Thank you.
We'll take our first break. As we do that, I want to tell you about one of our great sponsors of the program. Without our sponsors, folks, we would not be able to talk to great high school athletes like Hilton and Pittsford and all over Section 5. It's Bath Fitter. Bath Fitter can remake your bathroom in one day, or they can do it over time, whatever you want. But the number to call is 617-0007. Check out what they can do online. It's Bath bathfitter.com. I don't talk about anybody on this show I don't trust. Steve Bradley knows that, right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Bathfitter.com, 617-0007. You're listening to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show, brought to you by Salvador's Pizza.